Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to be using these two trees that I designed in a previous video to make a fantasy landscape. But two trees isn't enough for a whole forest, so I have to make a few more. But before I can do that, I need to make the ground. For the base of this landscape, I want to take some inspiration from the Nether and use warped nylium along with other blocks that look similar to it to give it the nice blue color while also not being completely matte. To do that, I'm going to take this flat canvas in this sandstone world and use the free hand draw tool in Axiom to just give it a little layer to begin with. And then from there I will use other tools to give it a little bit more detail. Now we have a nice landscape to build on top of, and I decided to completely scrap the warped nylium because it was just too dark of a color and I wanted to go along the lines of warped nylium, but I wanted it to be lighter so it was more fantasy-like, because in my eyes that's a lot of very light colors like light blue, pink, some yellow, maybe some purples. But now that I've got all the blocks picked out for what I want the floor to look like, I can use this noise painter tool and just cover the whole landscape with it. With all of this turned blue, it's time to add in some trees. Now that we have this beautiful large forest, I want to add in some frog lights to give it a little bit of light because it's a little dark under some of these trees. So I'm going to add a whole bunch of those frog lights to these leaves, and the pearlescent ones should go really good with all these pinks and purples. I added in all those pearlescent frog lights and this is looking pretty crazy. I also added a whole bunch of sea lanterns into the ground because I think that it should all glow and it looks pretty nice. But there's one last thing that I think that this fantasy landscape needs, and that is a stream going through the middle. To do that stream is pretty simple with the Axiom mod, and I'm just gonna fill it in with some stained glass of multiple different colors so that it looks really nice. Doesn't that just look beautiful, flowing all the way down into the center basin right here where there's the lower pool and the upper pool? I think it looks really nice to have the two different ones flowing together here. And then I also added in a couple different paths, and I brought the warped nylium back, and I'm really happy I did because it goes really nice with those warped planks and makes a really nice pathway that doesn't stand out too much, but you can still tell that it's there. And it crosses over the stream a couple times, like here or back here. And it goes all the way throughout this forest. Walking through this forest really does feel magical with the giant cherry blossom trees and all the other different colors up there. And then if you get close enough to one of the cherry trees, they do rain petals down on you, which is really amazing. I'm so happy that they added that in 1.20. Now there are just a few final touches I want to add to the forest, like adding some small plants just to add a little bit more to the forest floor here, because right now it looks a little bit bare. The warped vines and trees just make this entire thing really come together, and wow, it feels like I'm in a fantasy land walking around here. Really hope you enjoyed. watching me build this warped forest fantasy land. I had a ton of fun building it, and I'm really happy with how it turned out, and it is looking quite awesome, much better than I was expecting, honestly. But this is going to be the end. I want to thank y'all for watching, and if you enjoyed, remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.